How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything MCU. The hype of Spider-Man 3 is real. It's so real and big that it looks like we have another negotiation for Spider-Man between Sony and Marvel Studios / Disney. Now, I'm sure most of you remember the recent negotiations between Sony and Disney that we had not too long ago that put everybody on edge, and everybody was really afraid that Spider-Man was going to be out of the MCU. Now, ultimately, that wasn't the case. Sony and Marvel came to a deal, and Spider-Man is still in the MCU. But it does appear like we have a new deal in the works right now. So this is coming from two different sources, and the first one is Mikey Sutton at Geekosity.com. If you recall, Mikey was an insider during the last negotiations between Sony and Disney. He kept us up to date with what was really happening. And his report today says that Disney and Sony are on the verge of a new deal for Spider-Man's rights. But no need to fear, as this is actually good news. This could actually mean more Spider-Man film collaborations between Sony and Marvel, and new live-action TV shows as well, possibly on Disney+. The report says details are scarce, but sources say the deal will keep Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for an additional 3 solo movies with an option for more. This would mean that we would get out of the Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy era, which is set during Peter Parker's high school years, and move on to Peter Parker's college years. All, of course, meanwhile being a part of the Avengers, possibly going on to lead the Avengers or the Young Avengers. Then we also have another report from the Diz Insider hearing the same exact rumor. They said on their podcast that Marvel Studios extended the Spider-Man deal with Sony due to the web-slinger playing a pivotal role in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, the fact that Sony and Disney are working a new deal doesn't really come as that big of a surprise. As things heat up for Spider-Man 3, more and more people are getting more and more excited for it each and every day. And it seems like every day a new report comes out for Spider-Man 3 that gets the fans super pumped. And right now it's kind of all anybody can really talk about. So of course Tom Holland has a very huge role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward after Spider-Man 3, especially if you consider what's going to happen in Spider-Man 3 with the multiverse. And right now, if the reports for Tom Holland's current contract are accurate, that means he only has one more solo film and a group film left with the contract between Sony and Disney. And even though Spider-Man 3 is looking to be a very, very big movie with many different characters, that's going to be his solo film. Then he'll most likely be in a new Avengers film. And that's going to be it. And that's all going to be within the next few years, which isn't a very long future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So again, it comes as no surprise that they're striking a new deal. And of course, they're doing it right now because the hype for Spider-Man 3 is getting bigger and bigger every day. So they want to get this deal locked down before the release of Spider-Man 3. Because there is so much more potential with Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe than we already have. There's many different routes that they can go down in the movies, but also on Disney+. He can appear in many of the different series that are going to be coming down the line. Plus, not to mention, when Kevin Feige during the Investor Day was talking about the upcoming Disney+ series She-Hulk, he revealed that Tatiana Maslany is going to be playing She-Hulk / Jennifer Walters, and he did reveal that Mark Ruffalo will be in the series as well as the Hulk, along with a bunch of other people who might show up. Well, we know that Peter is going to need a lawyer at some point because of the events that happened in Spider-Man Far From Home. So perhaps she could show up in Spider-Man 3, and then Spider-Man could show up in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series. And not to mention, they'll probably want Tom Holland Spider-Man to show up in the Secret Invasion Disney Plus show that was recently announced. Nick Fury and Talos are going to be in the show, and the last time we saw Talos, he was with Spider-Man, who we thought was Nick Fury the entire time helping Spider-Man / Peter Parker out, ended up actually being Talos and his wife. So there's definitely a precedence for Tom Holland Spider-Man to be in that series, and Marvel and Disney probably want to use him in a series like that and other series as well, which is probably why we're getting this new deal. So they can put Tom Holland Spider-Man in more projects for Marvel Studios. And at the end of the day, it works out better for Marvel and Sony because they all make money. And of course, that's what it's about, and Tom Holland staying within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, unlike last time, this is actually a good thing that a new deal between Sony and Disney / Marvel Studios is being worked out for Tom Holland Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What future projects would you like to see Tom Holland Spider-Man in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things MCU, and so you can enter this week's giveaway for a chance to win a Tony Stark Quantum Suit Funko Pop. I am picking a winner tomorrow. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.